prison is meant to be a place of reform, a facility where inmates are held accountable for their crimes and guided toward a better path. But what happens when a place built for correction turns into a nightmare, especially for women? While both men and women serve time for various offenses, many are unaware of the horrific abuses faced by female prisoners across the globe. In some jails, women's dignity is routinely violated, and some inmates have even attempted suicide, only to be stopped, not out of concern, but because their suffering was far from over. Today, we take you inside some of the world's most dangerous women's prisons, where entering often means never truly coming out alive. These are places where women either leave as living corpses or never leave at all. Let's turn our attention now to Canater Women's Prison in Egypt's Nile Delta, a facility that many describe as hell on earth. The reports emerging from inside this prison are nothing short of chilling. The overcrowding is severe. Cells built for 4 women are crammed with 10. There's hardly any space to sleep, let alone sit or breathe freely. And if anything happens at night, the inmates are left to fend for themselves, abandoned to fate. One former prisoner recounted that what we hear is only a fraction of what truly goes on. The real horror begins when guards enter the picture, unleashing abuse so intense that women often beg for death before the acts even begin. Under the guise of prison regulations, these guards subject inmates to brutal physical and psychological torture. Those who try to report these abuses, they're branded as guilty, while the perpetrators walk free. In this prison, justice and human rights are virtually non-existent. Another inmate, while recounting her experience, was visibly trembling with fear, the trauma forever etched on her face. In this facility, human rights are trampled daily. Life in Canater feels like a never-ending nightmare, where each new day brings a fresh wave of punishment, suffering, and fear, and nobody knows when or if it will ever end. Many inmates here have already given up hope, choosing instead to abandon their will to live. Pavon Women's Prison, a name many of you may have never heard before. Located in Guatemala, this prison is far more terrifying than its obscurity suggests. Inside, a woman's identity doesn't just disappear, it's completely erased. Once she enters, she's cut off from the outside world, as if her very existence has been buried behind bars. But what's even more alarming is the disparity between appearance and reality. On the surface, authorities showcase clean food areas, sleeping quarters, and bathrooms. But in reality, these conditions barely exist. Yes, you heard that right. At times, even when food is available, it's given in such minimal quantities that many inmates go entire days without eating. One female prisoner reported that the prison is so infested with filth and waste that disease is an everyday occurrence. And if a woman falls ill, there's often no doctor available, no medical attention, no treatment. As a result, some prisoners have died untreated, and many more live in constant fear of the same fate. The women inside say they no longer look forward to life. They wait for death. Inmates often reminisce about the outside world, where they were once treated with respect. Now they're dehumanized, enduring abuse so severe that even their souls tremble. One former prisoner said, "Jails are supposed to reform criminals, but here they play with human lives like a game." Many women feel like they've already suffered hell on earth, and they hope no one else ever faces such cruelty. And the horrors begin with one of the most infamous names in India, Tihar Jail, India. While many of you may have heard the name, few truly know the dark reality that lurks inside. This is where some of the most notorious female criminals are held, and often they become each other's worst enemies. If a woman with minor charges enters this facility, her life can spiral into an irreversible nightmare. Many women, after being released, have spoken out about the daily physical and psychological torment they endured. Inmates inflict cruelty on one another, and what remains is completed by the prison guards themselves. Those who dare to speak up are silenced and punished even more severely. Though some changes have been implemented in recent times, such as basic food provisions, nothing has truly improved. The system still strips these women of their soul, their dignity, and their identity, turning them into living ghosts. Despite being created in the name of humanity, Tihar jail has buried that very humanity deep beneath its walls. Now imagine a woman finally being released after such torment. What good is freedom when your spirit has already been broken? Death might seem like a kinder fate. Now let's travel to Santa Marta Acatitla, a women's prison in Mexico that redefines everything you think you know about incarceration. This prison has become a hub for criminal operations. From drug trafficking to extortion, almost every form of illegal activity thrives here. But the most shocking part, it's not just the crimes, it's the horrendous living conditions. The infrastructure is so poor that basic human needs go unmet. One inmate said that getting water for a simple shower is like reaching for the moon. It's that rare. The guards, they treat prisoners not like people, but like numbered objects. One woman admitted that black market trades flourish inside the prison because no legitimate system functions properly. Despite the Mexican government's repeated attempts to reform the system, Santa Marta has become a quicksand of corruption, swallowing any hope of positive change. Here's the most heartbreaking truth. Women sent to this prison for correction end up becoming worse. The very crimes that brought them here start to feel insignificant compared to what they become exposed to. Instead of being reformed, many leave even more dangerous and infamous than before. This women's prison has turned into a dark underworld where criminality is amplified, not resolved. Next, we journey to Riyang Central Prison, located in the heart of Thailand, a country most of us associate with beauty, beaches, and peaceful landscapes. But what lies within this facility will shake you to your core. But if you ever get a glimpse into the prison system of Thailand, your dream of visiting might just shatter instantly. There exists a women's prison in Thailand, so notorious that even hearing its name sends chills down people's spines. Inside, women are no longer seen as human beings, but as burdens. The prison cells were originally designed for individual occupancy, yet overcrowding has become so extreme that inmates struggle just to breathe. Some have no option but to stand upright in suffocating conditions for hours on end. One female inmate reported that the prison lacks proper ventilation entirely. Cramming so many women into such tight spaces has become a breeding ground for diseases. And when infections spread from one body to another, there are no doctors available to treat them. But the problems don't stop there. Clean water and edible food are luxuries here. Inmates are sometimes served food so appalling that even stray dogs would reject it. Another devastating truth revealed by a female inmate is that sexual exploitation has become routine. Many women imprisoned here have accepted it as a grim, unavoidable part of daily life. There are widespread allegations that this facility routinely violates human rights, yet nothing is done about it. The government seems to be in deep slumber while abuse and injustice continue unchecked. Anyone who dares to complain often ends up facing brutal consequences. Riyang Central Prison is a place where both law and humanity have been defeated. And now, you understand how beneath Thailand's scenic beauty, a horrifying reality remains hidden. Now let's take you to the Canater Female Correctional Center, located in eastern South Africa. Though the word correctional implies reform, what lies inside this prison is anything but transformative. You may already be aware of the economic challenges in South Africa, the harsh lives that ordinary citizens lead. So imagine what it's like for the women trapped behind bars in such a struggling country. Within Canater, basic necessities like clothing, food, and shelter are considered rare privileges. Prisoners say they don't feel like people anymore. They feel like objects stored in a warehouse. One report revealed that the overcrowding is so severe that inmates are packed in so tightly, breathing becomes a battle. For a woman to survive one more day inside this prison is equivalent to winning a war. Despite all these horrors, Caradoc is still considered better than some other women's prisons, only because it's slightly larger, but size doesn't equal safety or dignity. Black market activity flourishes, and human rights are non-existent. Another prisoner revealed that daily sexual abuse has become a scheduled routine. What's even more painful is that no one questions this abuse. From the outside, the facility may look clean and orderly, but behind those walls lies a nightmare. Every day and every night inside that prison becomes a haunting dream, one that never ends, even after release. Women who survive these prisons say that no matter how far they go, they can never forget the horror they endured. These institutions were meant to correct, but instead they've become machines of trauma and inhumanity. Friends, these were just a few of the world's most terrifying women's prisons. If this video opened your eyes, leave a like, and in the comments below, tell us which prison shocked you the most. Don't forget to share this eye-opening documentary with others. And if you're new to our channel, hit subscribe to support us and stay updated on future true crime and dark history content. Thank you for watching.